Good evening, gentlemen. Charmed, I'm sure. Welcome to another episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature. And today we have the Absolute editions of the Absolute. Welcome, Wallace Ryan.
Yay! And of course, thank you to Luna for starting us out there as usual. And you're right, this is the absolute of absolutes. So now, it's funny because you even said, I'm sure we did something on this. And I looked it back, and there was one, but it was a long time ago, like back as far as number 73. So I was like, and that was before you were my co-host, so it was just like, well...
Yeah, we featured a few absolutes, but
yeah,
never
here and
like
there.
the
A stack
whole
of them.
collection.
the whole collection.
There's probably a few more floating around.
Yeah. Now they started around, I think it was around 2000. They actually started in a much smaller format. This is the Green Lantern, Green Arrow version, but they were nicely done books, but they all had really nice slipcases, which had sort of, fancy art, or some of them fancier than others. So the first two, this one was 2000, and then there was Dead Man, both by Neil Adams, surprisingly. Here's this was in 2001, series by the same guy.
Dead Man.
And this I like because you had the cover there.
I
See the
am dead.
But it was a classic series, and this was 2001, and they more or less started the format. Now, when they really got really into the absolutes, they made them basically the size of what you're looking at here. So they're all more or less about this size, and they all have slipcases. So we'll start out. I got a dozen instead of 10 this week. Some of them I'll go through quickly. So I got 12, a dirty dozen of 12 absolutes. And this one is, where's it? Batman. The Court of Owls. Now this is a series, it came out in the 2000s, or the 2010s, I guess. And from this guy, Scott Snyder. And it was, this actually great cover there. And this is the cool thing about these. These have great graphics on them. They're really nicely done. The slipcases usually have a lot of artwork done on them. Like this one has cool cover too. It was a great series anyway. It was.
There's a backstory there for sure.
Oh yeah. So this is around. This March 2012. So it was. What was it? It was as part of the. They did a relaunch in the New 52. Anyway, this was actually really good. I was quite surprised, and it's become the whole Court of Owls has become a part of the whole Batman mythology, still to this day.
I love how you're trying to match my freak with being fancy.
I am. I'm trying to be very fancy today, and I may or may not be succeeding. Now, the New 52 also spawned a second decent series. This was a redo back in the early 2010s, and they did a reboot of all their series. Most of them turned out to be garbage, but one or two of the Batman, and a couple others turned out to be good. And this was actually one of them, Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman from the early 2010s is really cool. It was done by this guy, Brian Azzarello, and Cliff Chiang. Once again, beautifully drawn. Well, I love the slipcases are beautifully drawn. And here's the cover. That wasn't that cool. And a great rendition of Wonder Woman. If you're a Wonder Woman fan, in terms of all the modern ones, this one, along with another one Gail Simone did, but this one, absolutely, you gotta have it. You gotta have it.
The one I want, you won't let me have it.
Oh no. Maybe if that comes to an absolute, I'll give you that one. Speaking of absolutes, now this is one, The Killing Joke. This is an Alan Moore book drawn by Brian Boland. And it's now it's not a very long story. That's why most of it is like sketches and stuff like that in the back here. Half the book is So, but it was a cool story. I love the this is the, and it's become a classic. I've seen this used many a time, and I've seen this one parodied. This is the original cover, so it was pretty good. The story is gruesome in a way. I mean, Batgirl gets shot in the spine and crippled, and it's but still not a bad story. They came out with a movie of The Killing Joke, and the Killing Joke part of it, which was the first half of the movie, whatever, was really good. But the rest of it sucked. I know, no, the Killing Joke was the second half of it. The first half they added in this story, and it was just awful.
Nothing can suck more than like Thor's Love and Thunder. Like,
oh god,
it just wasn't meant to be a comedy. It's just like they did my man Thor so dirty.
yeah, should never be. I actually left the theater. It was that bad, right? It was just.
I didn't know what to make of it. Like, you know, it was funny for its own thing, but it's just like this is not canon.
No, not at all, right? But I'm looking forward to that. Checking out the new one though. What was it? The Thunderbolts. Might be interesting. Anyway, oh look. Now we have the true absolute edition of the Green Lantern, Green Arrow. This is essentially the same comic, the same as as that other book. All the same material, except this one actually has one additional story. And because the guys who drew this series did one more Green Lantern story off by itself. And it actually appears in this. Has to do with drugs too, right? So, but this series, it was Green Lantern, Green Arrow. At the time, it was one of the great, beautifully drawn series of the 70s, and it was super hip at the time, and it was got a lot of attention to comics because of its way it covered all these different subjects. Well, and there, this one it's not as fancy as some absolute editions, but still, you know, not bad. Now, if you want to see fancy, here, check this out. This is the Absolute Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Yay! Now, Alan, and of course, right away, like I say, the back, front, nothing, and the side. And this one actually has, just feel that, it's like a velvet or it's some sort of strange cloth cover with the Swamp Thing done onto it like that, which is kind of cool. But this series too, this is a must-have for the late '80s, early '90s. This is when Alan Moore started writing the Swamp Thing. He came over from Britain and started writing this, and it was amazing. I was always a big fan of Swamp Thing growing up, and I never thought that anyone would do a better job than the original team in the 70s, but I was wrong. Now this one has a little story to it. This is the Absolute Preacher. This actually, I had all 6 books of this originally in the deluxe edition size, but Jason purposely got this in just to tease me. And when I seen it and seen how, I mean, the slipcase is pretty cool. You know, some nice artwork, but look at the actual book itself.
It's made like a Bible.
It is, isn't it, right?
Literally.
And even the side. And when I seen it, it was just. What I like about this too is you're looking at the artwork slightly bigger than it's originally published at this size too, which is good. So all these, you're seeing some of your favorite stories, but just blown up a bit, right? Which is kind of cool. But this is a great series. Preacher. Preacher got to be preached. Oh, okay. And here. Next up, another Alan Moore. This is V for Vendetta. I put this in just because I like the slipcase of this one. It has that cool thing there. Then on the back that. And then on the actual comic itself has that one and the rose. And even better, with this one, I do believe even on, now that's the dust jacket, yeah. Even on the printed, which some of them do have, it has the mask.
Oh yes.
And this is actually, a lot of people aren't huge fans of V for Vendetta. They like the movie, but they're not big fans of the comic. But I'm one of these weirdos who actually really like the comic. Okay, I'm making good time here, I think. I'm curious to see if Doom 12 is overdoing it. Next up, this was a comic series from Frank Miller, Ronin. He was the first to actually bring manga to North America, because even his drawing style he adapted was a very Japanese-looking style, and the whole story was about a ninja, or not a ninja, no, samurai, a Ronin, and the drawing style is pretty cool. This is just after he'd done Daredevil and just before he did Batman. And this is a series he did himself, but absolutely beautifully drawn. And like I say, once again, the whole package, the book is really nice. The cover, but on the inside with this one too. This one has like a beautiful drawing on the inside too, right? So that's what I like about these. They really took their time, not only prepping the book and everything like that, and the book being written and all that, but they really took their time in terms of designing them and doing a good job. Now we're into the final four here now, and we're going to hit Alan Moore again, this League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And this has 2 volumes in each box set. One is the actual comic book series itself, and one are the scripts, all the scripts. So it's kind of cool to use in my class. I bring in the scripts just to show people what they look for. And this one, once again, has like a cool drawing of the League and just some fancy stuff on the back.
Did you include that in your box video?
No. This is why I figured I had to do a absolute edition, because I mean they're all boxed in some way, I guess, right? So, but this one, oh, and here's one you'll like, Sandman Overture Absolute Edition, Neil Gaiman and J.H. Williams. And
I still have yet to actually get through that.
Oh, the drawing is just absolutely, and this one too, again, just beautifully done. And what I like about this and the entire Sandman, Absolute Sandman, is the design, the embossed raised stuff on that and on the spine.
My precious.
Yes. It feels like a book that Dream would have in his library, right? And absolutely beautifully, like I said, great reproduction, and the absolute format. It's for books that really deserve, a fancy printing. And if Sandman doesn't deserve a fancy printing, I don't know what does, right?
I'll always be a fan of Neil, no matter how many people try to cancel him for pointless rumors, just because they want his money.
Oh yeah, some of the best art. Yeah, well, and not only that, some of the best artists are terrible people, but they do great art, right? Now, we're down to number 2, and we're back to Frank Miller again, actually. And this, once again, is a 2-for. There are 2 books in this one, and what this is one is a reprint of the original of the series as it originally looked like on newsprint. You can even tell, right?
Oh yes.
So
Very
this is the coloring from the original series, and it's no. And in some ways, I prefer that. This is of course the printing that came out when it was done on a little bit fancier paper and all that. You see, it doesn't have that newsprint look to it. But hey, it's kind of neat to, I guess, for people who either like one coloring or the other. This one has both of them, 2 of them in one. And this to me is possibly the greatest Batman series of them all, year 1, by Frank Miller. Sort of like a retelling of his origin from the point of view of Commissioner Gordon. And this is where the Gotham police force first goes corrupt, like any good police force. Anyway, these absolute editions have been absolutely beautiful, and now we're down to the last one. And as usual, this one, it's another beautiful hardcover, and I love the artwork on this. All sides of this have a little bit of artwork on it.
Oh, is that Darkseid?
There is Darkseid, yeah. And this is, of course, the Fourth World, the absolute Fourth World. And this, of course, is one of my favorite series anyway. There's your Darkseid right on the cover. And this, I got this in 3 different formats. And when they finally said they were going to come out in an absolute format, I had to get it just because it's the biggest this has ever been printed, and this is my favorite series. So, and I actually had every single one of these in comic book form. Oh, there's a cool Darkseid. Now let me get up and show some people some real Darkseid and check that out. That's not Darkseid. I don't know who is. But classic series, of course, and it's funny when I first sold. I sold my complete collection of the Fourth World to Jason, and as it turned out, someone we both knew bought the entire collection himself. But he was surprised that I was selling it at the time. This is in the early 2000s, whatever. And I said to him, well, seeing the way all these books are coming out these days, I said sooner or later they're going to print the Fourth World into a hardcover edition. And of course they did. There's the one right there up above your shoulder, the Fourth World. There's one even way up there. And that one actually is the one with the mistake still in it. They printed an edition of it, and it has a mistake in it. So of course you were supposed to send it back and get it back, but I kept it because it's just like, well, I got 2 proper editions of it. But when I seen this one, I had to get it. I mean, the weight too, eh? But beautifully done. And there's, of course, another volume. There's 2 volumes to this one. And the only difference being the other one is red. Yeah, it's basically a red design. And I love the big Kirby there. So without doubt, probably my favorite. Although, I think the Sandman, in some ways I might even bump that up. In terms of the presentation, the Sandman are probably my favorite that way. Mm. Otherwise, as usual, we fall back on Jack Kirby. Yay! Now next week we might have some new books in. Who knows? I have 1 book in so far, but I figure I need at least 1 or 2 other ones before we can do a new show. Otherwise, we'll come up with some subject or something. This one came because I was just looking around the studio trying to figure out, okay, what one. Like I say, when I thought of the absolute editions, I knew we got close to it, but we had never done an episode on it. So there it is, the absolute edition of in the Library of Graphic Literature. And that being said, we'll see you all next week.
Drink some water, love your mother if they're still alive, and your mother figures if you don't have one, and
yeah,
all the likes.
And when it gets right down to it, and hug someone out there, and thanks for having us over again. Woo!